Which is how?
Well, Miss Cramer, would you prefer to be called Ms. or Miss?
I prefer Lynn.
All right, then. It's not too much of a presumption, Lynn. Would you do me the honor of joining me for dinner tonight?
Peter, I have to work tonight.
No, not until 9 o'clock. I made arrangements with Tony.
Well, you do plan ahead, don't you?
You bet.
All right, dinner. Where are we going to eat?
The Colonial Inn, where else? At the same table where I proposed marriage to you.
And you arranged that, too?
Absolutely.
Well, I guess I have to say yes.
Good.
Peter, I don't think that I can wait till tonight, or to see the race.
Well, would you do me a favor between now and tonight?
Yes, of course.
How about giving Dorian a call and asking her to meet us for a drink somewhere before dinner?
Oh, you mean to tell her that we're going to get married?
Yeah. I mean, I think we owe her that much. I mean, I think she should hear it from us rather than someone else.
Of course.
Could you just let me know where, okay?
Okay.
Dr. Jansen wanted in pediatrics. Dr. Jansen, pediatrics, please.
You believe that? I mean, the one day that you're here to be with me for lunch? No? Then I will leave you with my untouched pie and my love.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Do you have a minute? I mean, do you have to meet someone? Well, I was coming in for a quick cup of coffee. I have a board meeting in a few minutes. Great. Come on. Come sit with me, all right? I'll get your coffee. Just sit right there. All right?
If you don't mind talking in the kitchen, I had lunch on.
Okay, not at all. Wow, smells good.
Special occasion. My husband is actually coming home to eat.
Well, really? Well, that is unusual, isn't it?
I sit down.
Okay.
Can I get you coffee? A drink?
No, thank you.
So?
Well, actually, I think you probably ought to sit down, too. This is going to be something of a shock.
Oh?
I started my religious instruction today with Father Campion.
Brad, have you actually started? That's remarkable.
Well, yes, it is, if you can call it that. I mean, there's a lot more to learn than I realized.
I guess it is, starting at your age. It's easier if you begin in school.
Yeah, well, actually, that's sort of why I came to you. I mean, I guess, with the exception of Jenny, you're probably the best Catholic in the family.
I don't know what you mean by best.
The best informed. And what I was thinking was, I was hoping... Well, it occurred to me that I might learn it all a lot faster if I had some coaching on the side.
Brad, I'll be glad to do whatever I can to help.
Thanks, I appreciate that. Am I holding you up?
No, I was just wondering. Jim should be home by now, and Cathy's going to join us for lunch.
Oh.
Yes, he called and asked me to invite her over. He had something to talk to us both about.
Well, look, if you're going to have a family conference, I'll leave, okay? So.
Oh, that must be wonderful now. Cathy? Back here.
Anna? By the way, could you do me a favor and not tell Jenny about this? I mean, I'd just like to surprise her with, how fast it's going along.
Of course, I won't say a word.
Great. Thank you.
Hello. Hello. Hello, Brad.
Cathy.
Well, did I beat Dad here? Yes, but I said him any minute. Oh. He called at 12:30 and said he was leaving just then.
Well, I'd better go. Jenny's coming home for lunch, too, so I'll go see if she's there. Thank you very much, Anna. Bye-bye, Cathy.
Goodbye, Brad. have an invitation for lunch, but what exactly is this all about?
I wish I knew. Your father asked me to call you and invite you to lunch, and he said he had something he'd like to talk to both of us about.
Well, didn't he say what it's about?
Not a clue. Oh, Cathy, I think I should tell you, so it won't come as a complete shock to you. I think it has something to do with his health.
What do you mean?
He's been so tired lately and very tense. And he's been taking some kind of medication.
Medication?
I found the prescription bottle. He tucked them away down here. Apparently thought I'd find them if we left them upstairs in the medicine chest.
Well, what is it?
Well, there are these two. Propranolol and sorbite dinitrate. Does that mean anything to you?
No, not a thing.
Well, not to me. It could just be that with the stress of a fool's accident, he felt he needed something. Oh, Miss Cathy, the fact that he went to such pains to keep this from me, it scares me a little.
How you doing, Herman?
I'll make it. We should be there in about 5 minutes. Oh, we got us a good dog here. I feel I'm gonna need it.
Here we are. Thank you, Ben. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't say anything about pie.
I know, but Peter left me his piece of pie, and just to ease my conscience, I thought maybe you'd join me.
But you look fine. You don't need to watch your weight.
Well, if I didn't watch my weight, then I wouldn't look fine. Go on, eat.
My, you certainly are up today, aren't you?
Well, does it show?
Yes, it does. Especially in comparison to everyone else around here. I mean, have you ever seen the hospital in such chaos?
Because of Paul Kendall?
There are armed guards all over the place. The ICU section is cordoned off, as well as the operating room.
Well, do you think he'll be all right?
We're very hopeful, especially if he can pull through the surgery. No complications. Well, now, you said you wanted to see me about something. What is it?
Well, I was sitting here with Peter while he was eating his lunch, and then he had to leave, and then you walked in.
Yes, I know. I saw it.
Well, I was just sitting here thinking about what I was going to do this afternoon to get away from all the depression around here, and it's such a beautiful day, so will you join me, Dorian?
Well, you didn't say what we'd be doing.
Well, going to 9 Maples.
The riding stable?
I've begun riding again. I've gone every morning this week, and it's absolutely glorious.
Should you be doing that?
Considering what happened
That is
before,
exactly why I should be doing it.
Oh, I mean, I admit that I was nervous the first day, but after 10 minutes on the horse, oh, you should see this horse. I mean, it's a beautiful chestnut gelding, and I feel absolutely at home. Dorian, why don't you come riding with me? I've even picked out a horse for you.
Well, I don't know if I could do that. I really do have this board meeting in a few minutes, and I could just this once.
Oh, it means so much to me. Please come.
Thank you for the delicious repast, my dear.
Don't mention it.
I already did.
Would you like to say goodbye to baby Leroy while you're at it?
Wouldn't want to wake the little fella up. Just tell him I dropped by.
When are you going to stop this routine?
Soon, I hope. I don't know how long I can sustain it. I'll stop out at the hospital on the way back to the office, see how Paul is.
Oh, good. And let me know, will you? And if you see Pat, would you tell her I'm going to try and get down there this afternoon? Well, you can explain about Eileen.
I thought she went on to New York.
No, she's taking the 5 o'clock train.
She wants to talk to you before she leaves. Didn't you two talk yourselves out yesterday?
Are you kidding? Old roommates never die. They just talk a lot.
I know it.
Actually, I'm going to have to ask Irene to come on over here because I can't get a sitter for Kevin this afternoon. I must say, I don't quite understand her.
What?
Well, don't you think it's just a teeny bit strange to drop in here from Toledo?
Well, impulse. Maybe she's on her way to New York and she
Just couldn't resist seeing your shiny face. Oh, excuse me. Your shining face after all these years.
I said I wish she'd brought Tina with her.
Oh, write them both back.
Well, maybe I'll do that.
You did.
Goodbye. Let me know if you hear anything about Paul.
You know.
Hello, may I speak with Mrs. Irene Clayton, please? Thank you. Irene, hi, it's Vicki. Listen, I'm stuck here at home, and I was wondering if you would mind terribly coming out here instead of having me join you in town. Well, I can't get a sitter this afternoon. No, it's not particularly unusual. It happens sometimes when all the kids are at school, that's all. Oh, good, fine. Well, I'm free all afternoon, so anytime you want. Okay, fine. See you then. Bye-bye. Understand what's keeping him, Cathy. Your father distinctly said between 12:30 and 1. Here it is. After what, 30? Well, no, maybe there was an emergency at the hospital. No, he's very good about that. He always calls when there's anything like that. Well, let's call him. I mean, at least Carla can tell us whether or not we should go on and eat, you know, and give us some idea of what time he left. Dr. Craig's office? Carla, hi, it's Cathy. Anna and I are sort of sitting here twiddling our thumbs, keeping lunch ready, and, well, I wondered if you could tell me about what time we might expect Dad. He left here about an hour ago. Well, did he have any stops on his way? No. In fact, he was in such a hurry to get home, he went out of here on 2 wheels. Maybe he was detained in the hospital on business. I'll have him paged in case he's still in the building. I'll call you right back. Thank you.
Anna, you home?
In the kitchen, Brad. What did Carla say? Well, he left the office about 12:30. She doesn't have any idea where he is.
Hi. I'm sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to ask Jim. Well, isn't Jim here either?
Either?
Yeah, I see Jenny was going to hitch a ride home with him for lunch, and I called the hospital, and they said that Jim had picked her up, and that they left, went down to the parking lot over an hour ago.
One Life to Live will continue in a moment.
And Dr. Glasgow said that they wouldn't be able to give me any word until the surgery was over.
How long has he been in the upper?
For 4 hours.
You know, it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Oh, I know that. He told me that it would take a long time. Anything involving spine does.
As far as they know, the bullet didn't do any damage to the spinal column.
That's what he said.
Good. You sure it's all right for you to be down here?
Oh, yeah, it's all right. My guard is sitting. Dr. Craig, please call your office. Dr. Craig, call your office. Oh, no, that's strange.
Well, what's that?
I wanted to talk to Jim a little while ago, mate. He said he left the building.
Your husband's all right. He's in the recovery room.
Oh, thank God.
Hey, it's here. Sit down. Dr. Joe Riley.
Oh, Howard Glasgow. Nice to meet you, Mr. Riley.
My pleasure. Join us.
Oh, I have so many questions I want to ask you.
Let me join you for a few minutes.
Hey, listen, you look kind of exhausted. Can I get you a cup of coffee or something?
I'm fine. So, what can I tell you? We removed the bullet. It was very close to the spinal cord, which is one reason why the procedure took so long.
You said very close.
Yes.
There won't be any other damage with it?
We're very hopeful, Mrs. Kendall.
But you can't tell for sure.
Well, the whole area is traumatized right now, as you can imagine. Now, the reflexes in Mr. Kendall's legs are not responsive at this time. But that's to be expected. There's a phenomenon called spinal shock, which often happens in injuries of this kind.
And that gradually wears off.
As a rule, yes. But we can't be certain for a few days yet.
When can I see him?
Well, of course, he's still under the anesthetic, but let me wait a few hours before I commit myself. Am that all right?
Well, all right, but maybe later on today, at least tonight.
This is a very determined lady, Doctor.
All right, let's see. Perhaps for a few minutes after dinner tonight. Well, if you'll excuse me, we're monitoring his vital signs very closely. I want to get back upstairs.
Thank you. Thank you, Doctor.
Nice to meet you, Doctor.
I'm sorry about that. Everything's there.
All right?
Yeah, hi, Joe.
Back?
I'm looking for Jim Craig. You seen him?
I haven't seen him down here, no?
Oh, they were paging him a little while ago.
Yeah, I know, but he didn't respond to the page.
Well, is there some sort of emergency?
Oh, no. He and Jenny left the hospital about an hour ago. Said they were going home for lunch. They never made it. His car's still out in the parking lot.
Well, look, maybe his car couldn't start and he took a cab or something.
Yeah, well, the guys in the cab stand remember seeing him. They all know Jim, of course.
What do you suppose could have happened to him?
Cantrell and Harmon.
Then at this rate, you said you wounded one.
Yeah, they need a doctor.
Wait a minute. You don't think they'd have the nerve to come back here in broad daylight?
Well, they wouldn't do that. Would they?
No. Well, it's no speculation, of course. I checked out a few things. Carla's got an extra set of Jim's keys. There's probably a simple explanation why Jim didn't make it home. I'll see you later, huh?
Here, will you have one of these pastries? For your own peace of mind, the recipe is from my sister-in-law, Eileen, who is one of the world's great cooks.
Thanks, Vicky. I couldn't eat another bite. Your lunch was so scrumptious.
Except you hardly touched it.
Well, to tell you the truth, I slept kind of late this morning. And I had a huge breakfast in the hotel coffee shop about 10 o'clock. And I felt absolutely sinful. Eileen. Oh, she lost her husband too, didn't she?
Yeah, about 6 years ago. It was very sudden. It was a heart attack.
How is she?
Oh, she's fine. She's just fine. She lives in Florida. She's got her daughter down there with her. You promised me that you'll come back and see us when you come back from New York?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, there are a couple of things I'd like to discuss with you and Joe. When you'll have more time and things are less hectic.
Well, good. Then we'll make a weekend out of it. We'll ask Tina to join us, okay? I mean, she'll be tired of doing the social thing in Toledo by then. Oh, come on. She's a big girl. You're not afraid to let her fly alone, are you?
Oh, no. No, of course not. And she would love to see you. But, well, I was thinking that I'd like to have you both all to myself next week, if that's all right. Oh, Vicky, you have such a warm, wonderful home. At the risk of repeating myself, it radiates a kind of love and security. I felt that the first time I came in here. I think I'll change my mind and have one of those pastries after all.
All right. You. Sit over there and stay put. You doc, on the couch until we're ready for you. Oh, this is killing me. Now, folks, we may be here for a little while, so let's have an understanding. I don't want to have to hold a gun on you every minute. I don't imagine you like that much either. So let's go by one simple rule. If anyone makes a false move, if either of you tries to get away or attract attention or anything like that, the other one gets killed. All set?
ready as I'll ever be.
Okay, Doc. Do your thing.
I couldn't understand a word he said under that Irish robe. Listen, are you sure? I mean, really sure that you want to do this? Dorian, don't tell me that you're backing out now. No, I'm not backing out. It's just that, well, I'm concerned. Concerned about you. Considering what happened before, I would think that... I have been riding every morning this week, and I have overcome my problem. And that is what makes me feel so marvelous. You mean you've been riding alone every single morning? Yes, of course. Why? Listen, what's that riding attendant's name there? Mr. O'Neill. Mr. O'Neill. Why don't we have him come with us? I mean, that way, if there was an emergency or something, he'd be there. It's just too hard. Listen, I really appreciate your concern. I do, but I'm fine. Here comes my big fella now. Isn't he a beauty, Dorian? He's beautiful. I'll tell you before. Okay? Right, I will. Would you be careful? Yeah, I'll be fine. Remember, Melinda, you don't have to prove anything. Take it easy, all right, kid? Easy. Be careful, Melinda. We'll be right here if you do find out anything. Well, yeah, I'm sure he is. It's just that we can't understand where he could be. Yes, I know. I'm sure there is a very logical explanation. Well, thanks again, Carla. Bye-bye. Dad's car is still in the parking lot. You mean he never left there? Apparently. He called at 12:30, and he said he was leaving that minute. Well, Carla couldn't explain it either. She said that she paged him, and now everybody in the hospital is looking for him and Jenny. I mean, no one's seen him since he went to pediatrics to pick up Jenny? That's right. I just don't understand this. I mean, I can't... Wonder if he has a supply of these. Now, look, I'm sure he has. And if anything had happened, I know, we would have heard. And anyway, Jenny's with him. She'd know what to do if he became ill. Why haven't we even heard from them?
Who dressed this wound?
Friend of ours.
Certainly not a doctor.
What's the matter? Do a lousy job?
It's reasonably clean. Jenny, there's some swabs in the bag. Please. That bullet's going to have to come out of there if it's causing the pain. Got the beginnings of an infection.
Who said anything about a bullet?
I was a battalion surgeon in the infantry in World War II. I've handled more gunshot wounds than you'll ever see.
Okay, so get the slug out of there if that's the problem.
Sure, let's pack up and get back to the hospital.
Do it here, Doc.
I can't even tell where it is without x-rays.
Come on, Doc. You've seen many like this. You must have a pretty good idea.
I'd say back behind the scapula, but that's just a guess.
And he couldn't get at it without surgical instruments.
That's right.
Well, what do you need?
Well, for starters, scalpel, Retractors? A probe?
Jim, what's the matter?
I don't know.
Jim, what is it?
I can lie down for a minute.
No, you don't, Doc. You're gonna finish him. Will you stop? I can't see. He has to get out of the way. Now quit faking, Doc. You get that slug out of there. Fast.
You can hear me, Doctor?
Come on, let him lie down. I'll take care of it.
No, I want the doc.
I am a nurse. I can do as well as he can under these conditions.
Yeah, but you can't get that slug out.
Neither can he. Didn't you hear what he said? Jim, can I do anything for you? What's the matter?
Medicine in my pocket.
Give me some water. Look, if you want me to take care of your friend, you'll do as I say.
Get it. I'll watch.
Jim needs a brother.
Scott diagnosed it. So my way home to tell Anna.
Oh, no.
Okay, nurse. Get to work.
Jim,
Antibiotic ointment and dressing. That's all we can do.
When you get finished on him, I've got something for you and the doc to take. Sleeping pills. So I won't have to keep such a close eye on you. As a matter of fact, you might as well take yours now, Doc.
oh, look, he can't.
Before long. How you feeling?
Better. Doc was bluffing about that slug in my shoulder, don't you think, huh?
Who knows?
Sure he was. He just trying to scare me, checking into a clinic or a hospital or something.
Well, we can't do that, can we? No matter how bad off you are.
What are you doing?
We still haven't heard anything about Kendall, remember?
That concludes our hourly
That's
news
it.
report. Now for today's
I
weather.
don't want him to know we're interested in him.
Sunshine with an overcast.
Why not?
Expected toward evening.
We're going to have to wait till we leave anyway.
Got an idea. I'm going to, call the newspaper. The Banner. Ask for Joe Riley. You got it for me.
What are you going to do that for?
You'll see.
was a long time ago. It was an accident. A one-time thing. But even so. Well, I'm okay now. My hand's all right, and I feel great. And we're close again, like real sisters. Does that mean I'm going to see more of you? Well, I don't know. Well, Linda, I have a wonderful idea. Why don't I go back to the boarding house with you and help you pack, and then you can move right into Landfair? Dorian, wait, I'd love to, but, you see, my future's already planned. Peter and I are going to get married. Melinda, wait! Melinda, stop!
Paul continues to fight for his life as the terrorists make their demand.
Mr. Riley, we'll make you a trade. Dr. Craig and the nurse for Paul Kendall. I'm sure all the great minds are at work on this right now. The only thing is, it's my father's life that they're bargaining with. Oh, must not be told about the kidnapping or the trade offering, not Badler. Because if he finds out, I know that he would offer himself as a sacrifice in a minute. I think I'll try Riley again.
Wait. Maybe I ought to use paper.
Will you make up your mind, Herman? Last night you told me I shouldn't even go outdoors, and now you're
What, last night?
I'm not going to be on the phone long enough for them to trace the call.
You never know. They might get lucky. Go on. I saw a booth on the corner when we came in. What are you going to say to them?
That there's no room for negotiation. That they've got to meet our terms, or they're going to lose their chief of staff and a mighty fine nurse. All right. They're taking the garbage out. You're a little jumpy, Herman.
You're damn right I am. I'm also very tired. My shoulder hurts like hell.
Well, we'll get that slug out of there. As soon as the doc wakes up, I'll get a list of the things he needs.
That's another thing. We can't keep him locked out forever. Especially if it's true what he says, that he's got a bad heart.
He'll last. Anyway, it shouldn't take that long once we get to Joe Riley and explain the deal to him.
Now, don't kid yourself. Riley can't okay a deal like that all by his lonesome. It's going to take time.
Then we'll give them a deadline. What do you say, 24 hours? Is that enough?
Don't worry about that. Just make the call and establish the contact. Think those guys are through yet?
Sounds like it. Yeah. Wish me luck.
Don't stop and talk to anybody on the way. We gotta figure every cop in Philadelphia is gonna be out looking for us by now.
You don't have to remind me of that.
Anything new? Oh? Yeah? Oh, okay. All right, thanks. Bye.
Jimmy, what is it?
Well, something's happening. Got a partial make on a vehicle. Well, it seems this guy who owns a drugstore right up the road from the hospital, what's his name?
Jacobson?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Jacobson was coming back from a luncheonette around 12:30, 12:45, and this van comes tearing right out of the parking lot of the hospital and almost hits him. And it takes off up River Street, burning rubber.
I don't understand. What does this van have to do with Jim and Jenny?
Look, Jacobson saw a woman driving the van. And Ed Hall seems to think that it might be Bonnie Harmer.
Bonnie Harmer, that's the woman they think that shot Paul Kendall. What has she got to do with Jim and Jenny?
Look, Ed thinks that they were probably both forced into the van and that they're both lying somewhere on the floor as he drove by.
I don't understand why. There's a political terrorist. What in the world would they want with Jenny and Jim?
Wait. Someone was injured, right? Right, shootout at the airport? Right. And Ed thinks that they probably, at this particular point, need a doctor real bad.
Why? Why Jim?
It was just a chance. They just happened to drive into the parking lot at the hospital. They waited around till they saw somebody come out with a doctor's bag or get into a car with MD plates. Well, I mean, that's his theory, all right?
Did Jacobson have any more information at all?
No, he knew that the color was a light blue delivery van.
Did he get the license number?
No, he was busy getting out of the way. He didn't know it would be important.
Well, wait a second. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, it could have been somebody just stealing a van.
Look, we're checking into that, Brad.
I mean, they'd abandoned it somewhere, right?
Wait, the point is the police have something to work on, right? Now, if these guys do have Jim and Jenny, they're bound to release them as soon as they get the medical attention they're after.
Larry, surely that would have happened by now. It's been 4 hours. What on earth happened to you? I fell, of course. Here, let me help you. Please. I'll get it. No, thank you. Would you just go to the phone and call Dr. Peter Jansen and tell him that I would like him here immediately? Yes, ma'am. Then after you do that, I want you to lock the front door. And I don't want you to let anyone in, especially my sister. Yes, ma'am. If this doesn't open Peter's eyes once and for all...
Okay, Abbott, let's see what you've learned since you came here. Just what are you doing to get a line on these people?
Well, I've already got a few things. From the morgue and from our contact in Washington.
From the morgue and have you got something we didn't already know?
Yeah, well, Bonnie Harmer was Oil River's girlfriend.
That explains all the chances they took to come and get Paul Kendall.
Yeah, and they might be back to finish the job.
That's right.
Except that one of them's wounded, which means it might be more important for them to get a doctor than to get to Paul Kendall.
On top of which, Paul might not even make it.
Oh, yes, but they don't have that assurance, do they?
Okay, Abbott, let's assume we're right up until now. What do you suppose they'll do?
Well, I think that they hole up somewhere so that Dr. Craig can fix up whoever's wounded. I'm basing that on the lead that Ed Hall came up with.
I don't think so. I really don't think that two responsible people like Jim and Jenny are going to just take off for 4 hours in the middle of a workday, not without phone information.
Yeah, how can you be delayed for 4 hours when you're only 15 minutes from home?
Riley.
We've got Dr. Craig and the nurse.
Hello? Hello, I think we have a bad connection. Jim and Jenny, get my phone out there. Tracy's call, quick. Hello? Hello, who is this?
Mr. Riley, we'll make you a trade. Dr. Craig and the nurse for Paul Kendall.
Is this Bonnie Harmer?
What do you say? Is it a deal?
Well, I'd like to be able to oblige you. You see, Dr. Craig and Mrs. Vernon are friends of mine.
I know. That's one reason we called you.
How do I know they're alive?
You have to trust us. That's all.
What if I told you Paul Kendall died this afternoon?
Come on, Mr. Riley. It'd be all over the radio, the television. Now, are we going to talk seriously or not?
Well, I'm sorry. I haven't got the power to make a deal with you.
But you can get to the people who do. Tell them our proposal. Then put a classified ad in the Banner tomorrow morning. Address it to Sonia and make it simple. Got that?
What happens then, Sonia?
We'll let you know when we see the ad. But if it's It's not there, Mr. Riley. You'll never see Dr. Craig again.
All right. All right, I'll go to work on it. But let me ask you something.
No more questions, Mr. Riley. Just do it.
Sailing up on you.
You heard that?
Yeah, I ordered the trays, but there wasn't time.
Riley. Oh. Thanks for trying. Damn it.
What are you going to do?
Tell Ed Hall he's right. Put a tap on his phone. Obviously, I'm going to be the intermediary in this deal. Hello.
There's not going to be any deal, is there?
Lieutenant Hall, please. Yeah. This is Riley. It's urgent, please. He isn't? Well, where is he? All right, we'll try him there, thank you. Ed Hall's at the hospital. Call him, Abbott. Give him the information.
Well, what are you going to do?
Among other things, tell Anna before she finds out some other way.
Anyway, Dr. Glasgow said that he might be able to see Paul for a few minutes this afternoon, so, well, I'm just kind of waiting around.
That's good.
What brings you up here?
Oh, just a routine check.
You still think that Paul is in danger, don't you?
No. We're just taking every precaution, that's all. We've got this place locked up tighter than Fort Knox.
Lieutenant Ed Hall, please check the switchboard. Lieutenant Hall, call the switchboard, please.
Excuse me, Cathy.
Mrs. Campbell, Dr. Glasgow just called. He says if you would like, you can see your husband now.
Oh, terrific, thank you.
But just for a few minutes now.
Okay, you can let me know when my time is up.
Okay.
Hi, kid. Oh, that's what I like to see. Bright and shiny face.
You are not supposed to talk, you're just supposed to listen.
Am I allowed to ask questions?
Yeah, but you better keep them short.
Well, I only have one, really. What the heck are you doing here?
What do you mean? What the heck am I doing here? You know, I've been sitting out there all afternoon just waiting to see you. I have read every stupid 3-year-old magazine out there. Do you know they even have a copy of the book?
Never mind that. What about Pulse?
Come to think of it, I don't think they have that. I'm going to have to talk to Jim about that.
You have time before you leave.
Oh, really? Am I going somewhere?
Damn right you are. Pat, look, I want you to call Ray Benedict and tell them to get you...
No, yeah.
All right, then. You know, don't give me an argument. I mean it. If they can't get me, they'll come after you.
Mr. Kendall, please, take it easy. You're talking too much. I think, Mrs. Kendall, you ought to leave.
I'll see you later.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Wait, you mean that these people are holding Jim and Jenny hostage?
That's right.
Joe, isn't there any possibility it could be a crank call?
No, I am afraid not, Kathy.
Well, how can you be sure of that? Brad, would you use your head?
Hey, Vinny.
Look, no. We're the only people that know you're missing, right? It hasn't even been on the radio and television.
Well, listen, it was Bonnie Harmon, no question about it.
Joe, for crying out loud, what does she sound like?
Business-like, buttoned down.
Joe, now tell me, what are the police going to do?
Yeah, Annie, honey, I told you, the authorities are discussing the options. They're going to call us just as soon as they know something.
All right, and I guess we have to wait for a while. I'm going to go make some coffee.
You know it's going to be all right. You know that.
Yes.
Oh, we'll work it out, right?
Okay.
Vinny, would you go with her, please, huh? Please.
Are you calling the federal authorities?
No, I'm checking into the office. If I'm going to be the go-between here, I should be on hand. Come on, Abbott, come on. Abbott, any news? Okay, look, I'm leaving the Craigs now. I'll be back at the office in about 25 minutes.
So what are we going to do?
Nothing. We're going to leave it to the authorities to figure this one out.
Jim and Jenny. I don't believe it. Paul was just saying that they wouldn't give up.
Well, he knows them a lot better than any of us. There must be some way to get to him. We just gotta find it.
Ed, Paul must not be told about the kidnapping or the trade-off or anything like that. Because if he finds out, I know that he would offer himself as a sacrifice in a minute.
One life. Go with you down to the office. I mean, maybe there'd be something I could do there. At least I wouldn't feel so useless.
Of course, Brad, if it'll make you feel better. Larry, you tell Anna I had to leave. I'll call her as soon as I know.
Of course I will, yeah.
Kathy, not to worry. Well, there are a lot of good people working on this. They'll come up with something.
Thank you, Joe. I better see about Anna.
No, Vinny's with her, Kath, and Joe's right. Come on, sit down, please.
Larry, I know Joe is right. I'm sure all the great minds are at work on this right now. The only thing is, it's my father's life that they're bargaining with. I'm sorry. I guess I've just read too many terrorist kidnapping stories.
This isn't like all those other. Those are political.
But they do have one thing in common, don't they, Larry? The ransom is usually someone's life, in this case, two people's lives, and the government is not going to give in because it's like blackmail. It'll go on and on.
First of all, this is not a government thing. Strictly speaking, anyway.
Well, who's going to make the decision? Not Paul Kendall? I mean, he's lying helpless in a hospital bed. He probably doesn't even know what happened.
Maybe it's better that way.
God, Larry, isn't there another way out?
What?
I don't know what, but trading one person's life to save two people's lives. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just frightened. I can imagine what Anna's feeling. It's so strange. All my growing up years, my relationship with Dad was a difficult one, and then now in the last 2 years
I know. It's funny how, when you grow up, your parents seem a lot smarter.
And he had to go through all that alone. I mean, after Mother died until he met Anna.
Never heard him complain, though.
No, he wouldn't say anything. He's never said a harsh word against me. You know, sometimes I wish he would, just to relieve the guilt I was feeling.
He loves you very much, Kath. I think you both give each other an awful lot of happiness.
Well, here we are. It's elderberry wine. Do you like it? Mrs. Hopkins' cousin makes a whole case of it and drops it off here when he comes east. Darling?
I'm sorry. Look, I just can't grasp the idea that they have both Jenny and Jim Craig.
You were very close with Jenny, weren't you?
Well, Jenny was my friend in South America, and she was the reason that I settled in Landview.
Lucky for me that you did.
You know, Jim Craig has been like a second father to me. Victor and Dorian helped me get my license to practice here, but it was Jim who actually gave me the job. And he was the one who saw to it that I was accepted professionally. And now the two of them are involved in this mess, and there isn't a damn thing that I can do.
Well, we can hope, we can pray, and just go about our business. Maybe the opportunity will come that we can help.
No. I think this is a no-win situation for everyone involved.
No, Peter. If the police, find out where those people have taken them. Listen, I'm going to take your mind off this whole thing. I bought a beautiful record today. Do you want to hear it?
Sure.
Okay.
Talk to Dorian about our plans tonight?
That's right. Well, we went riding this afternoon, and the perfect opportunity came up, so I told her.
Excuse me, but wasn't that something we were going to do together?
I'm sorry, but the time was so right, and I've been so afraid of how she'd react.
How did she react?
She was angry. As a matter of fact, after I told her, she whipped her horse. It went into a gallop, and it threw her.
Was she hurt? I mean, she all right?
She's fine. Nothing hurt but her pride. As a matter of fact, she went back to the stable, got her car, and went home without me. I had to get Mr. O'Neill to drive me back to town.
Hey, you didn't have to do that. You could have called me. I would have been happy to pick you up.
I did. Your service said that you were unavailable.
My service? Excuse me, but I should give him a call. Actually, we still should talk to Dorian together.
Peter, do you really want to go through that? Dorian is really going to make a scene. I'm telling you, I know by the way that she reacted today.
Hello, this is Dr. Jansen. Listen, do you have any messages for me, please? She did what? All right, no, that's fine. Thank you. Right, goodbye. Well, Dorian called and said that it was urgent.
Well, that can mean one of two things. Either she's getting you up there on the pretext that she hurt herself, or she's going to tell you how foolish we're being.
Well, in either case, it doesn't take very much to find out.
Peter, wait. Let me handle this, okay? It's between Dorian and myself. I'm a big girl now.
Sure.
No, not on the phone. I think that I should talk to her in person. As a matter of fact, after dinner, you can drive me over to Landfair. Speaking of which, dinner. Give me 5 minutes, I'll run upstairs, finish your wine, and then we'll go, okay?
haven't had dinner yet.
Well, that's true. They said I might be able to see Paul later on tonight, so I just figured I'd wait.
Well, that's no reason to sit there and starve.
It's true. Listen, thank you. It's very thoughtful of you.
Yeah, well, not really. You see, I want to ask you some questions while you're eating.
Oh, okay.
And here, drink some of this.
Yes, sir.
All right. Look, Pat, I just want you to tell me everything you can about Cantrell and Harmon and Rivers.
Richard, I'm afraid that I really can't be of very much help to you there because I really don't have any special information.
Well, Paul must have talked to you about them.
Well, yes, he did, but he also talked to Ed and Joe and the federal authorities a lot more.
Well, look, tell me this. As far as you know, did any of those people who belong to that terrorist organization live in this area?
I have no idea.
Well, you see, what I figure is Cantrell and Harmon are probably holding out in some place in this area. They have the use of an apartment or a private house because they wouldn't bring Jim and Jenny to a public place like a hotel or a motel like that, you know?
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
The only other possibility is something I ran across when I was going through the files at the Barron morgue. That's a guy named Jarvis. Does that name mean anything to you? Jarvis?
No.
Well, he was a dock worker in Philadelphia and he disappeared all of a sudden. I was just wondering if Paul ever mentioned that guy's name, Jarvis. Jarvis? No?
Excuse me, Mrs. Kendall. Lieutenant Hall just called. He said for me to keep you in my sight until he gets here.
Did he say why?
No, but he said he'd be here as soon as possible.
All right, thank you.
I'll just hang out here, huh?
Thanks for seeing us on such short notice, Dorian.
Oh, that's quite all right. I want to help very much. I just don't know what I can do. Gentlemen, please, sit down.
Thank you. First, I think we should bring you up to date, Dorian.
Yeah, well, there's been no word from Cantrell or Harmon, and we don't have any leads to where they're keeping Jim and Jenny.
Oh, dear.
But the federal authorities have authorized us to put a classified ad in tomorrow morning's banner. Might give us a little more time.
Well, what good would that do? I mean, you're not thinking of giving Paul Kendall back, are you?
No, of course not.
We're considering making a counteroffer of money to obtain their freedom. We want to try and turn this thing into the usual kidnap ransom situation.
But would they even be interested in something like that?
Well, we don't know, but it's a chance.
You see, Dorian, when I talk to Bonnie Herman tomorrow, I want to be able to make a firm offer. So, if the Lord Foundation could come up with the front money for the ransom, it would be a considerable amount, by the way.
Yes, of course, you've got it.
Thank you.
Well, it goes without saying, we'll do everything we can to keep track of them.
Listen, did she mention any kind of deadline?
No, not specifically.
Well, the deadline is really Jim Craig, Dorian. He has a very serious heart condition. He needs immediate surgery.
Dr. Scott scheduled him for an operation tomorrow or the next day.
Yeah.
I had no idea about that.
Nobody did. Right. He hadn't even told Anna.
Well, how bad is it?
Well, it's obviously bad enough for Scott to schedule the operation even before this happened. So you can see the need for urgency here.
Don't we? We've got to feed the doctor and his nurse if they're going to do us any good. They still passed out?
I haven't heard a sound.
Well, they ought to be awake by now.
Don't worry about them, will you? Oh, whoopee. Frozen tortillas.
Yeah, your favorite, right?
What's this?
Nail polish for me.
Nail polish?
Yeah, I stopped by a drugstore on my way back, all right? I was out, and that shade's hard to find.
So you just took a walk. You took a little stroll, did some shopping. Like the whole Philadelphia police force right after
Will you take it easy, Herman? I know how to do these things. They didn't look at me twice. You hear something?
Oh.
I think they're awake. I'm gonna go check. Richard, listen, you don't really have to stay with me. I am perfectly safe, and I'm sure that there are a lot of other things that you would have to be doing.
Well, I'd like to follow up on that Jarvis story. I don't know where to begin. I suppose I could find out where it's at.
How are you? Hi, Richard.
Hi.
Listen, Ed was going to come over here, but something came up very important, and he sent me. Orders are, you're going to stay here tonight. Setting up a room next to Paul, and that way you'll have maximum security.
Well, the girl's awake. Still pretty groggy, though.
How about the doc?
He's out cold. The girl's worried about him. She keeps saying he's got a bad heart and that he might not be able to make it through this.
What does she expect us to do?
Well, she says we should keep her and let the doc go.
Sure. So we can bring the cops back here? You gonna cook those tortillas? He's gonna play with them.
I'm gonna cook them. How's your arm, Herman?
About the same.
Well, do you think you could drive? Handle a weapon?
Yeah? Guess so. What?
I've been thinking. Maybe this is just the time to pull a switch.
What kind of switch?
Well, the feds and the local cops figure we're sitting around waiting for that ad to appear in the paper tomorrow, right? In other words, they're probably relaxing a little. Just enough to give us the opening we need to get at Kendall.
What's on your mind, Bonnie?
Now listen to me. Try to put yourself in the place of the feds. I assume Benedict's running the show, and they know we have hostages, right?
Right.
And we told him we want to make a deal with him. That we'll call him just as soon as that ad appears in the paper tomorrow. You follow me so far?
Yeah, but I don't like where you're headed. If you're thinking of us trying to get into that hospital tonight...